A very warm welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned on Smart 24 TV. Our social media platforms are quite open. You can get to us through any of them. You can have the Twitter handle at Smart 24 TV now. We also have our YouTube live stream at Smart 24 TV Live. My name is Anthony, and you're watching The Point. Today, we are talking work ethics and building a strong work culture, of course, for better opportunities of employment and investment in Uganda. I'm with Mr. Charles Ochichi, the Executive Director of Enterprise Uganda. Mr. Ochichi, you've mentioned a little bit about the embodiments of a good work culture. You mentioned about timekeeping and keeping a promise. Well, one of the other things that really does affect the work culture of Ugandans, I have to say, is laziness. There is an issue when it comes to especially people, first of all, producing results. When it comes to the workplace, people only want to do the bare minimum because it's, I'm talking about a salary base, because this is where most Ugandans are saying we don't want to be there. Yet, I think, like you mentioned in your first segment, this is what builds you into a self-employer or an entrepreneur, if I may say. The ethics you build in this workplace, they help you in the other place.
Exactly.
Now,
you got it well.
Where is the problem when it comes to especially getting things done? Yes, we have people with very brilliant grades. You see very good grades, very good performance from A level, from degree level and the master's level. But then there's always that laziness. I don't know, for lack of a better word, to call it, at the workplace. People always just do the bare minimum. When you look at, I've followed people like Elon Musk, for example, the richest man in the world. I've seen when he talks about how he works like crazy, yet he's the richest man. And us, who are in the third world country, we sometimes get comfortable. This gentleman slept in the office for the first 3 years of building his company. And most of his projects at least have failed. Just few have been able to succeed, and they have succeeded so much that he's now the richest man in the world. But there's that, the building of the resilience that people lack. How do you build this resilience? Is it out of passion? Should people just do what they feel? You know, they say when you do your passion, you'll never work a day in your life. Is that what you should be looking at, that I need to look out for that thing that I really love doing to the extent that I don't feel like I'm breaking down? Or there is something to do with building the self-discipline?
Very good question. Let me first start by saying that anybody who wants to make a great career and build the work ethic that will open doors for you in many unlimited ways, the first thing you need to put into your mind is to say that your worth should never be equated to the salary check that you get every month. It should be equated to what you are becoming every day at the workplace. The moment your focus is, look at the money I'm getting, look at my needs, immediately it hits your mind and you feel the two are incomparable. And here is the message. No amount of money that you are going to get is going to cure or quench your appetite for more money to spend. So putting your attention to the size of a check you are going to get will only create what you call a passing excitement, a transitory joy. You are happy for 6 months because the salary moved from 1 million to 3 million. You used to be on 1 million. Now it is 3 million, extra 2 million. For 6 months, the brain is adjusting the budget lines. By the time the 6 months are over, the entire extra 2 million has been more than allocated, plus extra needed. And we are back to a painful person again. So the joy of a productive mindset should be distinguished and separated from the size and the worth of the check that you get on a monthly basis. The reason being, that check is not genetic. That check is not specifically meant to come from only one employer. It can come from another employer. It can also come from several other employers. provided you go and put your mind somewhere where I call begin to build a career.
Yeah.
People who build careers are simply saying, where I am today is a bridge. I don't know what's out there, the big world that this bridge is going to make me walk into. When Ochichi is running Enterprise Uganda, they are running it. And by the way, by next year, I want Enterprise Uganda to be reaching no less than 100,000 customers every year. We've taken 22 years to reach 179,000 customers.
Yeah.
I want by the end of next year, we should be beginning to hit 100,000 in 1 year. And I want to do that, not just because of the salary I'm being paid. I just want to connect with my job. The moment I see more and more young people leaving university, and within just 3, 4, 5 years, a person is handling $1 billion, it's fulfilling. It is in itself a lubricant for every day for you to wake up and just say, God, you gave me a job. You prepared me for a job. And every day you are just grateful. But what happens as that is happening is this. The opportunities, the offers that kind of a space creates for you is unlimited. Not just for you, but for any other person that will associate with you. Because the moment you build a name, that name is transferable to many other people. Through the way you recommend them, through the way you raise your own family, through the way you associate with your own community and your own clan. So, anybody looking for a career that will eliminate laziness, focus on building your worth way outside the monetary parameter.
Yeah.
And that requires you to be able to appreciate that, one, whatever target you have been given, treat those targets as targets for an average person in that position. In other words, if you left tomorrow and another person came to that position, they will be given those targets. Treat yourself as somebody beyond those targets. Whatever targets you've been given, add 20% extra and don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Deliver the extra 20%, but don't even talk about it. The moment you begin to blow your trumpet, you begin to disrupt the brain that's beginning to say, you belong in the finance space of achievers. But the moment you start saying, it was me, I was better than so-and-so, and that was my best year, you begin to talk in the past. And you disappear from what I talked about earlier on. Because great workers are fellows who constantly sharpen their skills. And they sharpen those skills by going back to those 3 simple questions I asked earlier on. What is it I did today that was brilliant for my customers, for my colleagues? What is it I did today and was disruptive to my customers and to my workmates? What is it my colleagues and my peers are doing, I'm not doing, I must also start doing? These 3 things are gateway to answers, which answers, when you begin to practice them, every month you are getting better and better and better. And you will even find yourself having started from a particular line of a career, and suddenly you are finding yourself in another direction of a career, and much more super than individuals who went to school in that specific direction of a profession. But then later, as you continue to build that career, not only will you be associated with the profession, you will now be associated with what I call a transformer. A transformer is no longer just somebody calling himself a marketer, an auditor, I'm a statistician. You are simply saying, I assemble resources available to me, including human resources, and I make them to deliver solutions wherever I go. So we are no longer going to call you a marketing man. We are no longer going to call you what you used to call a dentist. Well, all those now disappear. You are now a leader that generates the next generation of people who transform community.
Wow, God, that's very, very insightful. And it's at this point where I also want to ask you about when you look at the link between education and work. There's always a contention in the mind, especially now of young people who are just out of school sometimes. And there are so many things they want to do. Some of the things include higher education, getting a master's degree, getting a PhD. Some also include promotion at work and so on and so forth. What do you think? How do you set priorities when you're in the workplace? We're now talking about people who are already in the workplace sometimes, and they're caught in between, should I take further education? Should I get into business? Should I get into, should I work hard for a promotion at work? Where is a point where you say, okay, this is my priority right now. I'm going to go back to school, or right now I need to further my career. Maybe I just need to get a certificate. How do you set those priorities and put them right?
The first thing you need to do is to recognize that as you do your daily assignments as an employee, you need to be watching and asking yourself, am I getting more and more fulfilled in this direction? And to really answer that question, you need to be saying, what is it that made me happy today in the workplace? And should never be something to do with just a boss saying congratulations.
Yeah.
It should be something that you just say, you know, that customer was really, truly happy. He left the place and was delighted with the way I described the meat that was delivered. This is the meat any other person would have delivered to the table and just say, this is what you ordered and it's right here. But for you, after you've delivered, you even describe how the chef handled the cooking. And then after they have eaten, you come and again and ask, how was it?
Yeah.
You are immersing yourself in this kind of service or a job. But as you do that and you begin to see, I'm promotable, but there's something I need to add to avoid disrupting the environment.
Yeah.
So you need to take a course now in hotelier or something like that. Then that means you are no longer picking a master's degree or a certificate training for the sake of having another paper.
Yeah.
You are getting that paper to complement already the direction you are going to. That's why whenever we tell people that the productivity of a person has got maybe 3 platforms that can create an energized person. There's the aspect of bare minimum of remuneration, the salary. But when it comes to salary, really what should be mattering for you as an employee the most is, to what extent is the salary you are receiving equitable given the contribution you are making? Because you may be all called waiters, but you're a waiter with a certain energy, with a certain ability to deliver solutions at a certain level. That should be rewarded.
Yeah.
So the first line of really trying to create energy in an employee is the kind of payment you give them. But you, as a person who wants to create a work ethic that is going to open doors, just treat the current payment as an entry point for you to go to bigger opportunities ahead. But the next thing that you need to look at in terms of your productivity is now to look at your own other motivational basis. What else can you tap into to create a sense of motivation in the workplace? And that one I normally tell people, please connect with the consumer. The individuals who walked through that place and came to your place have emotions, have insecurities, have concerns, have a desire for recognition.
Yeah.
All those are within your reach without you having to earn a big salary. Madam, this is a beautiful daughter. How old is she? When was she born?
Yeah.
Give her this chair. Let me bring a better chair for her. What is her name? That girl will feel so good in that area and will tell mommy, this is a good place. Mommy, let's keep going back to this place.
Yeah.
That ability to generate warmth in yourself by connecting with the customer.
How about those who cannot connecting with the customer? There are people they're working in places where they are limited in their access to customers. They're basically looking at, for example, a factory setting. You're working in a factory, you're in there, maybe you have a tea factory, And the only people you get to really see are the workmates. You never see the people consuming the tea. How are they going to be getting able to express such,
A brilliant question.
work
And that's why when we
Yes.
talk about the word customer,
Yes.
we have since distinguished the two categories, the internal customer and then the external customer. The external customer is served by the internal customers who must have a chemistry amongst themselves.
Wow.
In other words, without teamwork,
Yes.
operating amongst all these fellows here who are serving the external customer, any one of them can create a disruption in the service delivery chain. Now, you need to assist the person who delivers raw materials for you to use so that he makes sure that he delivers the raw materials you need on time.
Yeah.
Now, these people who's delivering the raw materials must treat the person receiving them as his customer. You must get them on time so that when he's now delivering the thing for the external fellow, all the ingredients he needed, he got them. He should not be saying, sorry, unfortunately for today, we couldn't get all the other ingredients in time.
Yeah.
Largely because this other fellow never treated you as a customer. Every person that you serve, or the one that needs your services for them to serve the external customer or the next internal employee is a customer to another one.
Oh.
Once you recognize that bit, then you begin to see a workplace operating like a tree.
True.
A tree cannot say, you roots, you are hidden in the soil. You are useless. I am the branches who are holding the mango that is needed.
Yeah.
The roots are the ones who are getting all the nutrients and the water to give to the branches.
Yeah.
And the branches cannot start abusing the leaves. Saying, you leaves, you are just too crowded and you are making the place look ugly. The leaves are the ones that tap the sunshine and the oxygen to nurture the whole thing going on.
Yeah.
Once you start seeing that, then you can have a chain of interlinked customers.
I think many people don't have that perspective of a workplace. I've been to workplaces where people feel like, okay, whoever sees me here, I just come basically to my workstation. I do my work. Maybe I'm a graphics designer for a certain company. I go behind my computer. I do my work. I submit my reports. I go home. I never look at the customer. My boss looks at my work and approves and says, okay, this is good work. I think it will work in the market. And then that's it. They have never viewed it the way you're actually saying it.
And that's what I want to underscore here. An environment of high productivity has got the 3 C's, all working in concert. The C of competencies of employees are being sharpened regularly. The characters and the behavior of employees is in line with the entity. And then the chemistry, the 3rd C, between or amongst the employees is palpable. It is solid. And now that is the work of a leader, the work of a manager to ensure that these 3 C's exist in the team. If you don't get those 3, good luck even when people work in silos. More importantly, they can actually sabotage each other deliberately. This one here, I'm going to deliver the raw materials today. We shall see how their food will be served today.
Yeah.
Then they do it deliberately. They deliver the kind of ingredients that you need, but not the quality that you needed. But you are the one who is going to interact with the customer. But this fellow did direct sabotage. Not knowing that, by the way, as I sabotage this person who is my internal customer, I'm sabotaging the external customer who finally brings the money that pays all of us. You are seated on the branch and you are cutting it from the other side where it's linking to the tree. And you're expecting somebody else to be hurt. You're going to come down with the branch. So it is vital and critical for you to recognize that there are 2 types of customers. And if the internal customer is not well looked after, he could easily end up delivering a substandard solution to the person who brings money to the business.
Wow, that's very, very insightful. I think our viewers have actually picked a lot from that past discussion there. We're going to take our last break, Mr. Chichi. When we return, finally, we want to talk about how companies and enterprises can balance the need for profits, making profits, and also having a very good work ethic and work culture. We have cases in Uganda where I've seen this, and personally I've experienced, for example, some employers, especially expatriates sometimes, they overwork sometimes their employees, they demotivate them, sometimes they don't pay them. So you find, much as sometimes the employees are willing to give 100 and 120%, they are frustrated by the work environment. So how can employers balance that, the need for making profits and also having a very good work culture from their employees? How can they create that environment? And also, how can we promote diversity and inclusion in the workplace? We now have policies, especially concerning gender equality and policies against sexual harassment. How can all this be integrated in a very good working culture and good working ethics? My name is Anthony. Stay with us. We are returning with our very last segment, and it's going to be a short one. So please don't miss it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.